you've made it to the most important place you need to be this evening. All the way back. That's how you know you've made it.
And we're live.
All right. Next, please. Were you going to say something? Were you going to say?
Only thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Trash.
Back to you.
Trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Waybackers. Thanks for joining us tonight. You have landed on the Wayback Sessions. Thank you for joining us. My name is Adam Carter. As always, please subscribe, like the channel. There is a donation link in the descriptions if you are so inclined to support live music, tonight's band Inkblot, the Wayback Sessions. We will be monitoring the live chat, as always, through Studio B, so please fire in your comments, questions, concerns, and or if you want to make fun of me or the band, like all of that is totally okay to do. And let's see here. You know what? I saw some comments coming in about sound. We are working on all that. For now, we're going to keep forging ahead. And right now, I would like to take a minute and introduce tonight's band, Inkblot. Good evening, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Bust your mics out in front of you. Bust your mics out in front of you. Let's take a second here.
It is time.
Great.
Yeah, it is time.
Great. Yes. Fantastic.
Well, you guys already lit the night up, so let's go around and introduce everybody real quick. On the left, we have Dylan on bass. We have Garrison on keys,
Hello.
of all kinds of keys there. We have Adam. Hey, Adam. Yeah, nice name. On guitar, shredding. And we have, Connor on drums, killing it
Also
over there.
shredding.
Yeah, also shredding. Well, look, everybody is all doing that. And where this all starts is that you guys are kind of the, types of musicians that make me question continuing to play, or, do I need to just like duck in and woodshed for a bunch of more years
We get that a
before
lot.
I come? I
Yeah.
I bet you
People are
do,
like,
man.
What am I even? Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Why am I even a
Same
musician?
thing. Same thing. Every time.
Dylan, I'm so glad you can relate to that then, because it's all legit. It's all legit.
It is.
So, I want to dig into something right off the bat, because you know what? Dealing with so much, education and listening to so many diverse types of music. Anybody that's been watching the show Waybackers, you know that I don't like to get into labels and pigeonholing anything and talking about genres and all that stuff, because it's really not fair, and there isn't ever any way to get into that. However, for people that might not be steeped in, jazz, improvisational jazz, traditional jazz, however you want to call it, I'd like for you guys to take a second and talk a bit about what are you doing when you are making this music. And you don't even have to call it anything, but just steer us in a direction. Anybody want to field that?
I think either Dylan or Garrison's would be good for that.
So I have frightened you all.
I'm channeling a spirit that shall not be named.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to say his name.
Well,
And I like to call this adventure rock. I think
Adventure rock.
Right?
Adventure rock.
Adventure rock.
Yeah.
Well, I was heading towards a jazz fusion type of feel
Yeah.
overall.
That works too.
Yeah. A lot of our biggest influences and favorite groups, they kind of pull from all these different genres,
Yeah.
and so it's like, just to
Can you get closer to that mic for me? Yeah.
this good.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, just for instance, like if you look at a band like Radiohead, I mean, do you call that rock? It's got all these different things, and it's like, what do you even, as music goes on, it's kind of going in that direction, where
It
it's like,
is.
oh, this has a funk groove, this has like rock guitar tones, this has ambient things going on, this has improvisation. It's like, well,
Yep.
what even is it? So that's kind of like where we don't really. The fusion is just the best term I could think of.
because
to-
also I want to chime in because
Yeah,
also
please.
in this time like where everything is fusing together, it's like also a term like genreless gets thrown around, which
Yeah.
like says nothing about anything in the
Right.
music.
which I
so-
kind of like.
Well, yeah.
Just check it out. What is it? I don't know.
Genreless
Just listen.
instrumental.
Yeah.
So
So I think that keep going. Yeah, keep going. Adam, did you want to tune in, pipe in on that for a second?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't say anything.
This is a hot topic, and I'm going to steer clear.
Well, I think this points
Stay
back
out of your
to
lane.
ultimately. I think this is going to point back to the diversity within the influences you guys have, and I want to talk about background and bit in a little bit, not quite yet, but let's do talk about influence, and it's probably. I don't know, you guys steer me. It's stemming everything from classical rock to proper, old school jazz. There's probably, roots in there as well. And
Can I give some credit where credit's due?
by all means.
When I was 20, I saw Knee Body for the first time, and that totally just like changed my life. And prior to that, I discovered Herbie's funk records, and that totally like changed my life.
Yep.
And around the same time, I got super into like Jocko and everything he was doing, and it wasn't swing, you know. And he has that like funk R&B thing going on. So it's kind of like it started with all these kinds of people, and there's a whole kind of like niche scene of people like Wayne Krantz and Lewis Cole and Tim LaFave and Donnie McCaslin and stuff. There's like they're all like buddies too. They all play with each other, you know. And that's kind of like where the inspiration for this kind of thing comes from, is that group of individuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a big catalyst of maybe kind of jazz fusion music was as Dylan said, kind of in the 70s with groups like Weather Report, Jaco Pastorius, Return to Forever, Mahavishnu Orchestra. And I feel like a lot of that music is it was just really raw and intense. And I think we're kind of trying to maybe in some way channel that, but with new influences,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely pick all of that up. So how do you feel that the approach in the direction you guys have taken it differs from, say, a traditional jazz approach? Or is there at all?
I
Go ahead.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Connor.
It might be just as like the approach might just be the exact same because it's like we are playing a melody, like a composition.
Yep.
And then we improvise over this set form, and a lot of our tunes are like that. And like traditionally, like all that's how like jazz is played is usually like you play a tune and then the musicians, they're still like, going through the chord changes and stuff, and they're still playing the song, but they're playing on top of that, and they're like doing stuff like over the chord changes and stuff, and that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, it might just be like a feel thing, and like the sounds,
the chords, and like definitely the textures, the sounds that we choose
Yeah.
are maybe different than
Yeah,
what
but
people would say,
structurally.
like
Traditional jazz standards, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
that's kind of what I wanted to get to, is that they're really, even though it sounds, pretty drastically different, there's so more similarities than there are differences. And I think I find that across music as well. I always say that in the Western world, not talking microtonal craziness, but in the Western world, we all have the same 12 notes that we work with to write and listen and enjoy music. And that's really not a lot. So to sit there and takes symphonic to a jazz to a punk to, country to rock or whatever, it's like, well, pretty interesting how everybody chooses to interpret each of those little notes. So, hey, can we maybe hear more tunes? Yeah, you have at least two more, and these next two songs will be like 35 minutes.
We
I
just want to
think.
make sure everyone donates before we continue playing. There's a link. It's
it's pretty
Yeah, well,
easy.
Get up on that. Get close up on that mic
It's pretty
again, Dylan.
easy, and
I-
I said
and
give us your money or we won't play any more songs.
we're not.
You know what? There's look, Dylan. He's probably should have my job right now. Yes, there is a donation link, and you know what, everybody, if you want to find out more about the Wayback Foundation, what we're doing with youth programs, the other programs that we have on tap, or if you want to be a monthly reoccurring contributor and donator to the show, or you want to make a one-time annual donation, please visit thewaybacksessions.com. There's a bunch of super easy ways to do that, and there is a few links under the description of the video. For now, let's Inkblot. Come on, drop that ink in the ocean, guys.
We're going to play two more. The first one is by Garrison. It's called Valsane.
Okay.
And that one's going to go right into a tune by Adam called While the West Was Won.
I can't wait. The show is yours. Really. Like, and that's just all happening live, right? Like, that's just what you guys are doing.
Well,
we got
there's
several
There's
tracks. We have
playing,
tracks
We're
playing.
kind of just. I mean, my
Would
shit's
you
not even
guys
on.
like hold on to the joke with me for a minute? You know, we don't have to like let everybody know there's total lip sync going on here. You know what? We're gonna check in with Studio B here in a little bit, but first, I want to talk about you guys are fresh out of the studio, and I think you guys formed like 2 or 3 months ago.
Let's go with that.
About that.
Let's
That
go
sound-
with
that sounds
3
good.
months ago.
Hell
2
yeah,
or 3
2
months
months. 2 months in.
You guys put all this together, you right? And you've been in the studio. And
We did 3 9-hour days.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think that literally ended yesterday. Was it
2 days
yesterday?
ago.
Tuesday.
2 days. Okay.
Yeah.
So when can we expect to, get our hands on some?
It depends
Yeah.
on the donations that come in today. We'll see. The date could be sooner. Depends. We don't know. Hopefully before the end of the year.
choice is yours.
Before the end of the year.
People.
Well,
Like
I'm
fall,
gonna
winter.
need to get an advanced copy, or at least get in on the first run of whatever is going on there.
You'll get such a good discount on it. Don't worry.
Sign.
25% for you.
Hey, let's check in with Studio B. Studio B, can you hear us out there in Chit Chat Land?
I can.
Hey, how's it going? Good evening, Kat.
Hey, so it's been great. Everybody's loving the sound.
Well, yeah, nobody can deny that the wicked awesome is happening tonight.
Right?
Yes.
Let's see. The Unison Joy is loving it. Joy Marlowe.
course, yes.
They remind me of a band called Soul Live.
And
Oh, I know who Soul Live is.
Yeah.
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 badass saxophone player Joy Marlowe. Yes.
Yes. I got to know the story behind the guitar.
Well, Adam,
This
step up to
guitar.
step up to the mic, bro.
That's amazing.
Hey, wait, I can speak to this.
Let's talk
Let's
about
hear
it.
Garrison's story first.
This guitar, like not all, but has 6 strings on it, and pickups here, and it's as you can see, it's well loved and played,
It's well loved.
and
and played.
and then
Played
I'll,
well,
I'll-
too.
to
Well
finish
lubed.
it off, I'll let Adam say.
No,
whatever
you know
he
what?
thinks.
This is like an American. This is my first electric guitar, believe it or not. So I got
For real?
Yeah, this is the first one that I
Okay.
got, and I mean I have many others, but I love this guitar. It's an American Standard Telecaster. Yep. The neck was redone. There's been a bunch of stuff done to it, but it looks like crap. I would
No.
like take it in high school and just like drag it on the ground. Wouldn't put it in a case.
Yeah.
But,
It
you
does not look like crap.
No,
First of all,
it's
it looks
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So, what year might that be?
It's not old. It's like a 98, I think. 98.
I mean, you know what? Do you realize what year it is? I mean, it
So it's like
technically makes it vintage, bro.
almost, yeah.
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 This is a vintage 98
A vintage
Telecaster.
98, yeah.
98.
You guys just like think about that for a minute in the reality.
Pre Y2K Telly.
This is that's right, man. This is it, dude. This is the real deal. Let me tell you.
It's a
Joe
great story.
Bonamassa.
I wish it
Go
was
ahead.
true.
Studio B, what else is going on out there we need to be paying attention to right now? Good evening, Waybackers.
Good evening, Waybackers. Let's see. Marty Goldman from Black Caesar Soul Club. They're loving this. These cats are great. Dave Lewis way backing at my kids.
Hey, real
in
quick,
the kid pool party. Woo!
Marty and Aaron Black Caesar, they just had a great article come out in the New Times just today, I believe. So, yeah, check that out. They were on the show a few weeks ago, but wanted to throw that out there. Studio B.
Andrew Whitaker. Where did Adam get that sweet hat? Jeez.
Oh,
Dude,
this was a
guitars, hats,
yes.
like
I know. Hey, you know what?
Killing it.
This is a beautiful hat. It's a Gorin Brothers hat, and it was a gift from my lovely bride, Erica Whitaker. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, lovely.
Lewis said some of the baddest MFers in Phoenix. So Lewis Martinez.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know.
Oh,
him.
yeah,
He's not the
nice. Great guitar player. Yeah.
He's not who said we
Fantastic.
should
What's
go.
up, Louis?
He's not the one that said we should go stream all live shows out at venues, was he? It's whoever that was. Like, yeah, great idea. Whew. Do our best, man.
Right.
At some point.
Donations.
That was
yeah,
Mitchell,
donation.
Mitchell Flores. You guys should stream
to
shows
the
at the venues.
We should. And
Yeah.
you know what? With your support, we can. With your support, we certainly can.
Yeah, Dave Lewis Groovy. I love this.
Hey, Dave Lewis.
Joy was commenting as you guys were playing, so it's a little off, but the unison right there, and play that thing.
Yeah,
Smooth
there's-
y'all, absolutely loving this session. Thank you, Dragonfly and Mantis. That unison thing again. So yeah, they're loving it.
Cool.
Great job, guys.
So you guys have been. Yeah, Connor, you need to spend more time on the mic. I'm thinking. I'm
Say
like
something.
looking at you. I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking it's going to happen. But so you guys have been together like 2 months, maybe 3. It's all a little bit up in the air and questionable. We are guys. Roll with it. We are, this is legends we are making right now. The future legends.
Well, now you're
is
making it
what's
sound like we're like 7 years old.
Well, I don't know. Are you? You all look pretty damn young to me.
No. How long have we really
No.
been a group? Connor.
It's like closer to 8. Oh, go ahead.
It's like closer to 8 months. I was gonna say, yeah.
Days, week. So 8 months, you guys are already in the studio. You've got a pile of tunes. You're already recording and planning on, releasing something soon. Did you guys all come from other bands in town at all?
I mean,
Or are you just working musicians
I
doing
think
a
most-
bunch of things?
we're all working
Yeah.
musicians.
So all of us are like freelance.
We're all in tons of
guys.
bands, yeah.
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 Tons of bands, sessions guys, doing whatever that
Just
takes.
trying to make a living.
Okay.
Yeah.
The surprising thing was, I think, in the advent of the band, is that we were all like into the similar music, but we
Yeah.
hadn't just gotten together and jammed together. Like we've known each other for years and years, too.
No kidding. Okay, so I was going to ask how you guys met. So you've known each other a long time, but the music thing is very
Yeah,
recent.
we played gigs, jazz gigs, pop gigs, been in supported each other's original projects over the years. But it was like really surprising. It was like, what? It was like right before we started. Like you hadn't ever played together.
Yeah.
Having like loved all of like the same music.
I was kind of avoiding him. I mean, he has like, this weird like
For
I'm
reasons
just kidding.
for reasons we won't go
You know
into.
what? No, I think this all goes to.
I get it. I get it.
I think this goes to a really good spot in the studio. B, if you would mute everybody but Garrison, I want to ask Garrison a question. You can just mute everybody so they can't hear this. But so Garrison, like level with me. Who's your favorite band member? Like who?
Other
who
than
does
me?
it? No, I think that you just answered it. There we go.
I'll make that easy
You
for
can
you.
bring everybody's mics back, headphones back up. So the background with all of you guys, as far as where do you come? Is it all steeped in jazz? Really like your early background, education, upbringing, that type of thing. I think Dylan, we were chatting, and you have an interesting, unique background with the bass and in the Valley.
Yeah, my dad was a bass player, and he was the house bass player at the Rhythm Room for like 13 years. And so back when liquor laws weren't as like intense, you could bring your kid to the bar, like
Right.
kind of thing, And so like I got to go to the gigs and studio sessions and rehearsals and stuff, and I feel lucky to have been exposed to that like when I was younger. And he put me in an art school where I met a bunch of great mutual friends of ours and stuff, And so that's kind of what started music for me. And he showed me Zeppelin when I was like 10 or something, and that kind of like started it all,
Yeah, that one band will do a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Has done a lot for a lot of people. What about you guys, Garrison? What's your background? What do you?
Well, I grew up taking piano lessons, classical piano,
Yep.
and things like that. And then I was like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do for work. So I was like, I'll go to school for music and study that and see how that goes. I kept on going, and then I was in college. Well, I studied jazz in high school and in college. And after that, I started getting gigs in college. And then by the time I was out of college, I was like just only doing music basically. So,
Yeah, man.
but yeah, loved playing jazz, loved getting together. I had a rock band back in the day called Prague. And
We need to talk. I want to talk more about the band named Prague. Like that's saying
even-
something right off the bat, man.
but it was not Prague. It was like Prague spelled like the Czech Republic.
Oh, so
Wrap your head around that. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. I got to play some original stuff, and then play some pop gigs and things, and so keep the train rolling.
Yeah. Adam, what about you, man? What do you?
You know what? I kind of always played like country gigs and pop gigs and R&B gigs and all this stuff, and I always loved jazz, but I never really got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always kind of been something that I've been interested in. I've studied it for years, but I've always kind of done other stuff. So
Okay.
this is cool that I get to.
So you were studying it, but you were just
Oh,
not
yeah.
able to practically apply it in a
I mean,
band?
I wouldn't say that. Like, I would do jazz gigs here and there, but it was never like my main thing.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
And Mr. Deep Voice, Connor, man.
You know, sort of like, 8 months ago, these guys were like, we need to like start this band and do like sort of knee body stuff. And so then I bought a drum set and,
And that's-
got into playing a little bit.
Man, you
He
got
practiced.
You did
Practiced
well.
a little bit,
Practiced well.
So
8
you're
months
one of
ago.
those guys that just drops in woodsheds for 8 months and comes out and is like, hey, here it is. This is what 8 months gets you.
Yeah, I worked out. I used to work at Staples. No, but I don't know. I like started playing when I was like a little kid, and just like Dylan, I think Zeppelin was my first band.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, that's
for
that's
real.
good drumming.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's supposed to be. John Bonham, played drums like growing up since I was a kid, and then I like sort of got introduced into jazz like late high school, like I was like 17 or something,
Yeah.
16, and then yeah. And the rest is history. I've just been sort of studying it, and then I gig too, but that's about it.
In the jazz drumming world, who's your go-to? Like a Nate Smith kind of thing, or?
Oh, Nate Smith's great.
Well,
He's
yeah, I
great.
mean, kind of you start with that
He's
name,
awesome.
and there's really not much.
If I had to say like three, I don't know, Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, and a modern guy. His name's Eric Harland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that name. We might have to talk afterwards.
Yeah.
I always like to learn a little bit more. So I'm going to ask a few quick questions, and then we're going to get back to music. But I want to address some myths and mysteries of jazz. The myths and mysteries. And you guys can just jump on and throw out, tell me if I'm right or wrong. I didn't exactly make these up. But jazz is more serious than other genres.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, I knew you were going to say
Don't
that.
laugh.
I think that
It's not funny.
I think that I could actually roll with all of Dylan's answers tonight, but I like that we start there. Okay, we're going to take that. The second one is, and again, I didn't make these up, but if you don't like jazz, then you suck. Like, is that true or false?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know some people that like jazz that definitely suck, though. But
Yeah.
I think we all do. But
And if you like jazz, you have to be on drugs to play jazz.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know why we're all laughing, actually. Yeah. It's fucking serious. It's trippy as hell. I mean, like we're
Yeah, you
feeling it.
How else are you
audience-
supposed to get there?
The audience agrees.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh,
Facts.
I told you. Yeah.
okay.
Of course.
Well, so that went exactly about the way I was expecting it
Also
to.
gags.
If you want to play the music right,
If you want to play the music right, well spoken, Garrison. Hey, you guys still have a couple of more tunes
Yeah.
to get into?
Yes.
You do? Okay, cool. The show is yours.
We are going to do a tune by Connor called A Priori. A priori means you may know a lot about something, but it all comes from, information or books or something. You don't actually have any experience with it whatsoever. So you basically don't know shit at all. But it seems like you do. That's what this song is about.
I really do like you guys a lot. Like, I like you a whole lot. Too much. Okay. Oh, that one's so hot. That was so hot. When you guys were sound checking with that, I knew things were gonna get nutty. Okay, there's still more, right? There's still more. Come on, somebody make a decision.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Acid hasn't worn off yet. It's just I'm peaking,
dude. Yeah.
Let's go.
dude.
Dylan. Oh, Dylan. I probably need to bring him in here every week.
That is correct.
He'd be a great co-host.
Do you got a Studio C somewhere?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, there is.
yeah.
There is. No, there's more coming. We got an outdoor venue.
down
and
that
everything.
hallway?
Yeah, down the hallway, 2 doors to the left. No, that's Studio B, so it's going to be the opposite direction down the hallway, and probably 2 doors to the right.
This place is
And that-
confusing.
It
It's
is.
confusing.
It is like a maze.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you keep things straight in here.
We don't.
How do I-
we
How do I
don't.
get out of here?
Perfect.
You need Dylan in a robe.
Dylan in a robe. Well, look, who's breaking in on my robe thing?
Who commented?
I don't.
Andrea.
Audrey,
They can just DM me
you know
directly.
What? Like, we should just do this real quick. I know we were going to get into more tunes, but yeah, since Audrey is there talking about you getting a robe, I know she said, Dylan, love the new band.
Cool.
And that's how we actually got connected, was Audrey Lim through, Panda Hat Presents, and she had heard from you, and you had reached out, and it came to us. It took a few months to get it put together, but I mean, couldn't be more thrilled with what is happening in here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. We weren't even planning to take that 2 seconds. So, okay. Show's back to you.
Cool. This next tune is by me. It's called Lucid.
Okay, so, I mean, we really have so much to talk about. Still, I mean, you guys might have to double the set tonight because I know you said you were only going to come in and play 3 tunes tonight, but Dylan, you pushed the whole, donation thing, so there's more tunes have come, but I'd really like to push it to, like 25 or so.
So
we can talk about that.
Being that we've played this many tunes, I mean, the audience owes us like how much at this
Probably
point?
about $8,000.
It sounds pretty close.
Yeah, and I think we could start working with that.
start.
Like we could do things.
We could work with that for sure.
We could work with that. Yeah. I think we could get albums made, and we could, pay everybody. Now, you guys kill it. So, when you guys are writing, I do want to find out a little bit about what does it look like to write a song with Inkblot? Because I hear you calling out like, Adam wrote this, and you wrote the, et cetera, et cetera. So, are you walking in with the riff and the band says, hey, here's, what we're going to impart? Or do you come to them and say, here's the riff and here's the way the guitar should sound to what I envision?
We either take ayahuasca alone or together.
Okay.
Either one of the two. And then the tune is born.
Dude.
Usually we bring in a completed tune.
Okay.
One of us will say, here it is. Like with Spoonfed, I had written like most of it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure of how to do some things. How do we get back to this other section? Garrison
So,
helped
like
me figure
transitions
it
and
out.
dropping back into stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we've figured out that what works best is when somebody comes up with like the meat of it.
Yep.
Here's the verse chorus, or here's the form, or kind of like, I wrote a drum part, but you do whatever you want. I wrote these sections, but how do we transition? And then we'll figure out the finer details later, but usually somebody writes the bulk of it. And
Okay.
then comes in and says, here it is.
Now, you know what? This conversation happens a lot in here, and my approach to writing with a band and in having a collaborative effort like this is similar, except that it's not. The song might be written, the skeleton, the changes, and all of that, but I'm not going to be. I mean, I'm not good enough to say, hey, here's the way the drums work. I can communicate my vision and the sound and the feel and the tone, and it's usually through color and tastes of food and vision and stuff like that versus, technical musical speech. But are you talking about you're writing the guitar parts and there's, keys that...
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. So, like, here's the changes, and then maybe there's, like, a rhythm to the changes. Like Adam wrote a tune where the hits are on the chords are all in the upbeats.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like here's the chord and here's like the rhythm of it, and then you're free to kind of interpret it like how you want. But then,
Of course.
But all the meat and potatoes is there though. You know.
Okay.
Or like when we played Volsane, that tune from Garrison, he had a whole chart. The melody, the form is all done.
Yeah.
But then we figure out like, oh, this is kind of a cool groove for the intro. Like whatever the smaller details, like we'll figure that out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. It works so different with everybody, but it usually all comes down back to that collaborative thing because, why
Yeah.
work with people if you don't want their, input and style to come in there. I want to talk about something, Garrison. I am so thrilled that you are back there behind that Fender Rhodes.
Beautiful man.
And
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful instrument here.
I wanted to get a little bit of feedback on that because, that instrument has a history not only with me, but through the show. There's been, a handful of really, actually nobody sits behind that thing unless they're like ready to, hunt bear. It's just kind of the way that goes. Like nobody fakes it out behind that machine. And it was, completely restored. Everything was redone on it, from hammer tips to, damper felts and you name it. So I was kind of interested in like, it's playing good. It's feeling
Yeah,
good
it
back
feels
there.
really good. The action is nice and responsive. Sounds really great.
You make it sound great, man. Look, I can get back there and hammer some chords and it doesn't sound anything like that. I'm just saying. So I'm going to do something I don't always like to do, but, George Duke?
Oh, I love George. Duke.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Look, when I hear stuff, Adam, I heard you pulling up like some Mahavishnu,
Yeah, man.
which really resonates with me a whole lot. And then, George Duke, I think, there's definitely piles of awesome ones, but George Duke was the Rhodes player that like dials me between the eyes. And then you go back into the fusion and acid jazz and what could arguably be the very first real fusion acid jazz albums that Zappa did with George Duke. It's the Hot Rats and Waka Jawaka that took it to that level outside of the traditional jazzers pulling off of fusion acid, which is arguably already happening, but it wasn't quite as cohesive until those two albums. What do you guys think of that?
Do we have like
agree.
big Zappa fans here?
Yes.
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 No.
Okay. Well, I won't hold that. I won't hold that against you too much, just a little bit. But yeah, you know what, Garrison, George Duke. Like I hear that, and the way you're approaching it, I think it has to do with the way you guys are feeling the music and the way that you write and the way you put it together. That is so reminiscent of that particular player. Not like you sound like him, but it's just the whole damn thing is coming together. But I hate to bring up and compare and stuff, but I mean,
no, definitely.
That's a good comparison.
if I can compare you to George Duke, then
definitely.
I think we can all work through that one,
Definitely.
right?
And it's a funny thing. Like my dad introduced me to George Duke really early on, and but like
father.
I was like not into it. Like I put it away, and then like I think later in life like found it again, and I was like, oh yes, like. You know, I was don't know, I was into other stuff.
That
Sure.
seeped
You know.
in you though. That you
Yeah.
probably listened to it.
Oh yeah,
Is
just
it-
like yeah,
There's no way to get around, having that circle back
Oh.
around
definitely.
all night. And we there was a comment that I saw, Dylan. Somebody was really excited about your bass guitar,
Oh yeah.
and I think that we should tell them a little bit about it because it's maybe not what everybody is exactly expecting that you're playing.
For sure. I played a jazz bass for a long time. I started playing bass probably I think 12 years ago, and I've only been playing this one for a few years, and so it took me a while to get used to it. Not having that back pickup there was like super different,
Yeah.
But this is my main axe now, and it's a Nash guitar. And Bill Nash worked for the Fender Custom Shop for a long time, and then now does his own line of custom shop quality instruments, and they're cheaper than Fender Custom Shops are. And so I found this one, surprisingly enough. I don't know why somebody traded a Nash into Guitar Center,
But they did.
They did. So I
However it works,
some
man.
rich dude that like bought a real 57 and was like, fuck this. Yeah, so I got it for a great deal.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like closer to the first half of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that I found this, and then I had to sell some stuff to justify it, but it was totally worth it.
Well, that always happens.
It's got a big chunky neck on it. It's modeled after a 57. It has a Lawler pickup in it. And this is for the gear nerds.
Is it a Lawler?
It's a
Okay.
Lawler pickup. And
Yeah, we
I-
can go geary, guys.
I love it.
All
Gear
about it.
I'm playing GHS Boomer strings on it, round wounds.
Okay.
And so it gets kind of a growly sound.
So look, you're the one that brought up round wound. So let's talk about flat wound. But here's the deal: we need to actually tell people what that is because not everybody is a bass player. And I guess there's are there flat wounds for guitar?
Of course,
I
yeah.
guess-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've never ever bought a set, and nor have I ever played them. But usually I see that with the bass a lot more. So you're on round. Why would you pick that over a flat?
So I think that the flats are a very specific voice, and you hear that on like Motown records and that super old school classic bass sound, which is great. But then if you want something more versatile, the rounds get more sounds, I think. And I do a lot of muting, sometimes with my right hand or my left hand. So it sounds pretty thumpy, like
Yeah.
when you're muting, it's kind of has that thumpy flat thing.
Yeah.
But then when you don't mute, it sounds really growly and stuff. So you can get all these like sounds out of it, but then the flats are flats. Like they just sound like that thing, So that's why I chose these.
Well, thanks for asking the question, Waybackers. I don't know who asked that, but there is like a really well-rounded answer in my opinion. Hey, Connor, do you want to talk about the awesome drum kit you brought in the room today? Or, oh, I'm sorry, what kind of sticks are you using? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my shit.
oh, I mean,
Oh, Adam.
There's a cool Mapex kit just set up here. So that was,
just set up, you walk in
I
and
walked in. That was cool.
change out some brass and go
Yeah.
for it.
I played Vic Firth sticks today. 8Ds.
8D Vic Firth, okay.
And what
Are
does
those not your
8D
sticks?
mean?
I don't usually play them. but
today
today I do. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm trying to get into them. You know.
Well, Waybackers, you know what? You're trying to get into it.
I'm trying to get into
just,
'em.
like now. Yeah. So, hey, you guys have a show coming up. I believe it's June 29th at the WOMAC.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. So we want to make sure that all you Waybackers, you want to go see this live and witness it, for yourself. Please go and join them. Again, June 29th, Wednesday at the WOMAC.
And it'll be very different because it's 3 hours. It's 8 to 11. So we do a whole bunch of covers. We cover a Knee Body tune. We cover a Pat Metheny tune. We do a Steve Coleman tune. So we do a Hiatus Coyote tune.
Do you?
It's a lot more time to fill. So there's that much more reason to come out. And then Garrison won't be with us for a few months. He's going on a badass tour. So this is one of the last opportunities to catch all four of us together for the next 3 months or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrison, who you going on tour with?
They're called the Driver Era.
Okay. Awesome. And
But the 29th would be a good one to come to because it'll be the last 4-piece thing for a while.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Very cool. And find these guys on Instagram, in particularly Inkblot Music.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah. Inkblot Music on Instagram. Go follow them. Go check them out. They'll eventually get some stuff for you to buy, like albums and then T-shirts and stickers and probably a what kind of hat are you wearing? Like, if you're going to get those put with a big Inkblot logo on the front and sell those, is what you were saying
I would love to.
before? Okay.
Well, he was talking about bedazzling them.
Well, I know that you wouldn't wear it tonight because it wasn't bedazzled yet.
Rhinestones,
Correct.
boots.
That was
Yeah.
thinking cowboy boots.
Okay.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
well. You know wives, right?
Yeah.
So their thong underwear
They have
sold
thong merch?
really well.
Very comfortable.
really
I'll tell you.
well.
I've had some
Bedazzled
ideas
thong.
too. We'll talk. Yeah.
What?
Inkblot font.
Look, this is going to go on and on all night because they really can play 3 or 4 hours of music. But at this point, Waybackers, we're going to keep things going. But I want to let you know that next week we have the Aaron McCall Band. So if you want to get steeped in, straight up blues and blues guitar slinging, that's going to be happening. Then we've got Zara coming on. That is going to be the heaviest of heavy metal bands that we have had in here. Holy cow. I don't know how. Yeah, no, they're going to whip it out, Adam. Like, it is going to happen. They are. And then following up at the end of the season finale, we're very excited. We are going to have Contalo and the Humanauts in here. It's going to be a massive undertaking to pull that off at the end of season. But yeah, thank you guys for being with us. And at this point, I want to go, well, maybe there's another tune, or are you guys going to just stonewall me and shut me down?
We're shutting you down, dude.
Okay. Waybackers, it was so good to
We're
see
kidding.
you.
I'm kidding. We're out of here, dude.
Yeah, this is it.
I want to know what the audience thinks about Rorschach tube tops. What do you? That would be pretty tight.
Rorschach tube tops?
Inkblot.
Yeah,
tube
no,
tops,
I'm
dude.
with you, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You are a very interesting.
It sounds like we're in agreement. We're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
Adam gave kind of an ugly face there with that, but we can all discuss this, I might
Yeah.
weigh in on it. Inkblot, let me have another one, please.
Uno mas.
The show is yours.
This last tune is called Roger Roger. It's by Adam.
Woo! Man!
Roger, Roger.
Yeah, Adam, keep dancing, keep dancing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah!
Yeah.
That just happened.
Oh, my God.
Waybackers, this is live. This is real. This has been Inkblot on the Wayback Sessions tonight. You guys, thank you so much for being here.
Dude, thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely.
Thank
What
you.
a cool spot. Yeah, this was awesome.
Right on. No, thank you. It sounded amazing. Waybackers, you know what? Go check out Inkblot Music on Instagram. Go follow them. Go find them June 29th at the WOMAC. Keep your ears out for anything they are doing anywhere, especially when Garrison gets back from tour, because he's going to go rule the world. And yeah, we will see you guys. You guys keep, I'll just hand the show back over to you guys, but that just means you'll end up having to play another song.
Well, just please feel free to watch us wrap cables and just stand around and stuff. Man, like, it'll be great.
It is.
We're
So,
just hanging.
you know, the last thing I'll say is Audrey Lim, Panda Hat.
Yeah.
She said, when you get the two tops and you do the thong, that the band needs to model it in order to sell those.
Well, yeah, of course. I
Absolutely.
know.
Of course.
We know that.
Well, okay, well,
yeah.
sorry, Audrey. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I mean, they're pretty much, they're on that already. Waybackers, it has been another awesome Thursday evening. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Inkblot, we appreciate you guys being here. You guys know how this works. We're going to flip all the cameras around, leave the mics live. We're going to drop the needle on an album as we kick the cans out of the parking lot on our way back to our cars while we're talking about what an awesome night tonight was. You guys, we'll see you next week. Cheers from the way back.
Show, guys.
Sweet. Ooh. Dude.
This is where now,
Monster.
like on what is it, SNL, where they talk
Monster.
smack to each other, where the credits are rolling up.
Thank
I don't
you.
know about those guys. I don't know about that.
Of course, man. Yeah.
No, play the right
You
notes.
suck so bad. Like, man. It's right? Yeah. There you go. There we go. Yeah.
That's super wide.
Like that dance party.
That's very wide.
Yeah, you could get the whole thing like.
Also, yeah, cross.
Okay. No, he's busy now. He dropped it. He left me hanging. Adam left me hanging. Oh, no, you guys, for real.
Why do you like it, man?
Dude, it's no, like I was telling you, I wasn't messing with you. You know, I don't say that. Everybody knows this. You know, we're doing it like,
Yeah.
you know, there's some.
Right. I know, yeah.
You know, but now you're gonna get like this. I mean, I can just.
Oh, we love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, no, he's
It was
definitely
super fun, man. Very
I need
comfortable.
to-
Way better to
definitely
play.
Cool.
Really comfy, you know what I mean?
It's just a good vibe and it's fun and we're just hanging out playing music.
Playing a strange kid too is always weird, but this even felt good.
Well, dude,
Why not just get a fucking the look?
Like, need my back to work for
Yeah, it did.
He's an Apex drummer
the rest of my life.
underrated. Super underrated.
Yeah, and then they like, you know what's wrong with them, and if something goes wrong with them, then you need to like send it to LA.
I cannot, like, my rhythm is I can
Our drums though.
I time $200. I sit behind this one for like
You say you're a guitar player, right? So it's like different shit. I can't play guitar at all. I can strum like 2 chords on guitar.
That's why I wore my
I mean, and it's funny because I hear it, and then my body goes.
Was these
Like,
yours?
it's like
weird.
I
It's
can't
weird,
believe
isn't
I
it?
cannot play in time for more than like 60 seconds.
It's physical.
And then it goes sideways real fast. On the drums, on the guitar, I hold it. Drums. I'm better on the keys to stay in time and rhythm and understand it. And I'm sorry, not dangerous.
Yeah.
Is this your band? Yeah, I used to be a stepchild,
I
so
feel
you know,
Stepchild
back in the late '90s, we came up in and so lots of
I was very distracted by this.
Kevin Breyer. No, I know Kevin Breyer. And then I was thinking of you because you were talking about the Nash, and we got Dave Lewis was on the stream tonight, and he is the bass amp designer for Fender. So he designs all the bass amps. Oh, cool. And was he the one asking? No. Oh, but he was watching? Yeah, he was watching. Oh, cool. So no, he's been designing their amps for the past 25 years, and he's got some cool things. Jake and I have been playing with him. Yeah, I played, super cool guy, and so I wanted to jump into that, but you see how it goes. Things move so quick, and you're like, only half of my notes are really there. I don't know what happened. You guys, there was some technical issue that happened.
Was that the very beginning?
Oh yeah.
We had a latency issue on the stream.
Now there's
At some point, I did it that correctly. We have not ever had that.
Well, whatever.
Well, the first, no, it was like the third show, but we're talking like a year and a half ago.
Oh, there was like.
There was something happening on the stream, and some people were saying they were having it, some people weren't. I've always, when that happens, refresh my browser, and then all of a sudden it syncs back up. But yeah, some people said there was an issue, some people didn't, and then we got halfway through, and people were like, oh, give a shit. It sounds great, and I think it got corrected. Ultimately, it recorded the entire evening in 24:48 and the video. So if I need to resync or do something or redo something, you know.
Do you guys do like multi-track or is it?
Oh yeah, no, it's all like you can't. Here, come over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're running the whole thing through a DAW and recording everything.
Dude, that is so cool, man.
So if we wanted to go down and find a cool live thing, it's definitely
That is sweet.
yeah. No, sounded like awesome. Awesome. It's again, it makes me take a pause and go, okay, so do I really quit and sell all my guitars, or do I spend more time by myself with my guitar?
The latter.
The latter. Whatever you want to. You're supposed to be more forceful with that, man. No, it really. Yeah. Fuck, dude. Yeah. All of you guys, though, really.
Well,
Yeah.
floating around, slowly,
Yeah.
working for other people.
Well, I'm glad you guys are pushing it out on your own, doing your thing, and able to be a working musician and doing everything else that you do. Because I mean, that's like a level I'm not. You know, I couldn't do. I'm good, but not.
I don't know about that, but I'll probably go check them out a little bit later.
This band?
This guy,
Inkblot?
no, they're this guy. You.
Oh,
Be like,
shit.
oh.
No.
Friends,
Well, look, that doesn't mean it. That's when you go be like, hey Tom, would you come record on live tracks?
You know what's funny? It's like I grew up.
Everybody did.
Yeah, everybody did. But like all those I started my first game. So my first game like 2000 era like urban stuff. You know,
And that's where Sarah was writing tunes for him.
Yeah.
So,
So
Stupid Boy.
kind of in a roundabout way, like influence without knowing, and then quickly like I've always been like,
Who's doing what?
doing real. Yeah.
Who did this? You know, he's with, he's on tour with Ann Wilson right now. And he's Joe Walsh's guy. And I mean, he's such an all-around. So I heard
Wow. Okay. That's
and then when Tom came in, like, he always comes around, and then we would, you know, honestly, we'd be like, dude, come with me, let's go shopping guitars.
Where would you guys go?
Well, not very, it's not that awesome, man. You know, we would go get, he likes to dig into books, and then we would, Bazaar, and then what is, what's in Scottsdale? Guitar Tinkers, because they've got, he's that vintage chaser.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one that's like walking in going, okay, you want 35 grand for it, we can work on that.
Yeah.
I'm going, you know. So that, like that Firebird, he knew and I talked to him, and he's like, oh, you mean like that 60-year-old play with Joe? I said, yeah, but no. Like, I can't, I'm not even good enough to play that awesome of an instrument, let alone. And so, one day he calls me, watch out, Firebird. I'm like, okay, I don't like that. And he's like, it's a 64. And I'm like, I He's like, don't get too excited. He's like, it's been molested. Your serial number's still on there. Haven't been routed it out for 4 months. So all the CTS spots and the carback pickups all named to the set.
Oh, okay, so there's all up there. Got it.
And when you take the photos, they have it gone because they sent it to me. They pulled it apart and they said, "We won't put it on paper. This looks like it needs a reason to get modified just because of the way it was done." So when they pulled it out and they looked, and that's they were like, "These things, everything makes this." So they were like, "We think this happened." And so they looked at somebody and they were like, "No, John." And you can see that they're like, "This it's a gorgeous place." It is a 60.
Right, yeah.
Plays wicked.
Yeah.
You know, something about that mahogany back then that we can't reproduce because we chop down trees too quick. But
Is that the end of the album?
I think so.
That's amazing.
Should we? Oh, we're still live. I
Yeah.
forgot that. Is there anybody still watching?
Like 20 people still on.
There's still 20 people still watching. Yeah, right? What is that chopping? Dude, I do not.